Okay, good morning, everyone. We're here for the regular council meeting of February 4th. We will go with quick introductions and go right into the meeting. We have with us online Councillor Joel One.
Good morning.
Myself, Chris Ewan. We have in person Councillor Shane Pelletier.
Morning.
Our CEO, Mitch Duval.
Morning.
Councillor Janine Belanger.
Good morning.
And Councillor Jason Bodnerchuk.
Good morning.
And I think our assistant CEO is there somewhere, Dominic
Good morning.
Without further ado, we will go right into it. Item number 1, meeting called to order. Do I have a mover? Councillor Lemoine, second. Councillor Bodnerchuk, thank you. Comments before we open the meeting? Seeing none, I'll call for the question. All those in favor? That's carried 5-all. Thank you. Open the meeting at 9:01 a.m. Item 2, adoption of the agenda. Do I have a mover? Councillor Belanger, second. Councillor Pelletier. Questions, changes to the agenda? We're good as is, council.
Good as is.
Call for the question. All those in favor? That's carried 5-0. Thank you very much. Adoption. Item 3, adoption of the minutes. Do I have a mover? Councillor Bodnerchuk, second. Councillor Lemoine.
Last regular council meeting was held January 21st, whereby we entertained a delegation from SEDEM regarding the labor markets, as well as a resolution regarding IMBM funding for 2024-25.
Perfect. Council, any comments or questions, edits? We're good as is. Call for the question. All those in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Item 4, committee reports and minutes. Do I have a mover? Councillor Pelletier, second. Councillor Lemoine.
One report received from Councillor Bodnerchuk regarding the Reach Out Senior Services. Thank
you. Council, comments or questions on this? Call for the question. All those in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Item 5.1, the fire department. Mr. CEO, I can never remember. Are we adopting this or is this just information?
Just as a presentation for council.
Okay. So presentation, no mover, seconder. Go ahead, Mr. Fire Chief.
Mr. Pretty special this morning. Usually go through all the calls. I did provide the calls for 2024. We had a total of 147 calls for the year. I don't have what we did last year. I think it was roughly the same thing, 40-ish calls last year, so we're on par. Provided all the what we had for calls in December, itemized. December we had 18 calls. November we had 13 calls, or incidences calls. October 10, and then September 13. I don't know how far back our last meeting was as far as the emergency service meeting went. So I can go through some of these if there's any questions on the actual incidents from your guys' part, I guess. I didn't provide the January one, which would have been probably pretty good because we've had a few incidences in January, a few structure fires, but it's not in the 2024. So I didn't print that off. I should have, I guess, but I did not. So as you can see, as far as the numbers go, Mitch sent me an email yesterday saying my numbers were maybe not adding up as far as the lines and whatnot. So I went through it again this morning. The alarms, that's just regular activation, house alarms, whether it be smoking or like cooking in the home, accidental activations, anything like that. Basically 43 are the big ones. And MVCs, roughly 48 MVCs. Pretty much a third of our business is MVCs, which is, I guess we got a couple of big roads or big highways going through us. So, and then the other one was vehicle fires and grasslands, the other ones that are to make mention of. So, yeah, so roughly 147 calls. So if anybody has any questions regarding that, what you've seen there, so ask away.
I have a question.
Yeah.
The MVCs, is it consistently in the same area on 59 or 75 by St. Agatha? Like, is there stats to
Yeah, I provided that.
The interchange there.
Yeah, I gave that to Michigan last year. I have it all at home too, as far as where the incidents happened. I think it turns out we always thought 305, 75 was the big one. We've had more at 210 and 75, or 210 and 59 actually. Wow. We've had more incidents at that actual location. So we always think 305, 75 is the big one. Mind you, it is, yeah. But we've had actually more at 210 and 59, to be honest. So yeah, which is kind of shocking until you actually go through where they actually are. I thought we'd have way more over here, but we have more I would say significant accidents at 75 and either 210 on this side and 305 for a lot more, seems like speed or a lot more worse accidents.
Those trucks are involved or semis are.
Well, I mean, you still have semis over here, but most ones over here, like cars, you know, so cars scooting across, not seeing, don't know what the case is, but
Well, that's just it, like on 210 and 59, there's no curve, there's no obstruction, there's no anything, so.
there's no flashing light, there's no, what do you call those things in the road, those
Rumble strips.
rumble strips, nothing like that. So, I mean, if you're not familiar with the area, I've complained, you know, I'm sure you guys have heard that lots. We're over here in St. Olaf, you know, coming up to the stop sign on St. Mary's, the stop sign at Esso, you know, I still see people blowing through it. You know, there's no light, it's dark, whatever. So kind of crappy as far as that goes. But to answer your question, I could provide where we have most instances, but as of, I think I did it with 2023, and the biggest intersection was 210 and 59.
Yeah, I guess just to support the 305 and 75 in.
I mean, those ones were too far behind. I don't know the numbers, remember the numbers off the top of my head. I'd have to go home and get it, whatever. But it was definitely more over here than it was over there. Here you have more, we've had more, well, bad accidents where there's fatals and whatnot over here, you know, just more, there's more traffic on 75, more transport trucks and stuff, so. Yeah, more bad MVCs, so.
Cool, okay, thanks.
Anything else from council?
Do the MVCs get reported in the fire reporting software?
Yeah. Yeah, it gets reported there and we send all the information to MPI for submission for money back and whatnot. So yes, yeah. Yes and yes. So that's it as far as calls go. I think it'd be pretty much, you know, carbon copy of what it was the last couple of years. Maybe the volume up and down a little bit, but we're around that 150 a year. Pretty consistent. NVCs are staying around the same thing. It really all depends, as you know, the slippery weather, you get a skiff of snow and you seem like you have more accidents. You know, if weather's nicer, you have a few less accidents, you have more grass fires. So that seems, you know, depends on the season. So, yeah. Anyway, like about a third of our business is MVCs for car accidents, with different variations.
And one
Perfect.
start, April, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I just got a question for the fire alarms and monitored system. Like, is it like, what are the severities out of the 43? Are there ones that are just literally was an accident? There's one where it's light smoke. Like, are you always expected to go to that call even if it was absolutely nothing?
How we end up doing is we cut back our response. Like we get paged out as one department, and then if an automatic alarm, an automatic alarm comes into St. Olaf, and we get an update from 911 stating that it's verified by the occupant, it's nothing, it just went off accidentally, whatever. So we have to send, or we send one truck to verify, so we won't get the other halls to come in. If it was St. Olaf, the St. Olaf hall would respond with a machine, no lights and sirens, go to verify it with the updated 911 information. And that goes for all the areas. So it depends what 911 has come back as far as the updated information goes. And they don't always know. Sometimes it's they're unable to get a hold of the caller, or however the alarm system works as far as in their home, right? So, but to answer your question, if it's an alarm like that, then we'll cut back a response, only send one machine. Get the other halls to stand down or stay at their hall and don't leave until you identify what's going on.
Nice. I appreciate that. That's what I was wondering. What's the cost burden for the RM on these small ones? So I appreciate you guys doing that. Thank you.
It'll be wages. That's the thing. So we cut back on actual wear and tear on the vehicles.
Right.
We do that especially on roads that are, you know, challenging, crappy weather, outside snowstorms. If we have accidents in Grand Point or Senegath for that matter, we try to make sure those halls respond to their respective areas versus getting St. Olaf or Ile-Lachine going all the way to Senegath and vice versa, pending the manpower. So
Right.
we try to limit our response like that and exposure to, you know, us
No,
having.
very good. No, I appreciate that. Thank you. Anything else?
Good here.
Good.
Perfect. I think that's it. Thank you, Mr. Fire Chief.
I have a few other things though. Like
Oh, keep going. Keep going.
I want to bring up the whole fire hall in Ile-Lachine again. That's not a thing that's going away. So I know I've talked to Mitch on several occasions about our hang up is obviously the property in Ile-Lachine or property in that neck of the woods. Hopefully it's not too far from where we currently have our fire hall. I know I've talked to Mitch again lots I'm sure you guys talk amongst yourselves and all this. That's still something I want to make sure that's, at the forefront, is bringing up property or finding a chunk of property so we can actually build a hall. So I just want to make sure that it gets brought up and doesn't get forgotten about, because it's one of those things that it's, we got to be persistent with that. And I know it's maybe not at the forefront all the time, but we have to find a solution to this to build a hall. So.
Yeah, I agree. This is something I would have liked to see at least start shovel in the ground before my term ends, Scott. So it's definitely on my priority list for sure.
For sure. Like I say, just want to make sure I bring it up, because like I say, we have different conversations. It doesn't, I don't know what you guys talk about. So I just want to make sure it's at the forefront as far as it goes for us. So I did provide Mohammed with a 5-year plan as far as a capital budget plan, I guess. I submitted that to him the other day. Long story short, our oldest truck in Senegath is a 2008, a pump. It's a 2008, so it's roughly 17 years old now. What I'd like to be able to do is start the RFP process to purchase a new pump for Senegath. I'd like to be able to start it now, take 6 months to work out what we're going to purchase, and the build time for these trucks are 18 to 24 months. So it's not buy a truck, order it today, I get it tomorrow. It's not the case. We're trying to plan 2 years ahead of time. So, and they've gone up in value, of course. I like to say our truck is currently 17 years old. My plan would be if we were to order it tomorrow, we get the truck in 2 years. Our current truck we have now in Senegath will be 19 years old. So between 15 and 20 years, that's all you're going to get out of these trucks. You're going to get a good dollar value as far as trading goes. So the idea would be purchase a new truck, trade that truck off. It's a really good truck. Although it's old, it's going to start costing us money. It is now. It's going to cost us more money. So it's just a matter of pre-planning for that. And for that, I have to get the okay to start the process of an RFP to purchase a new vehicle. So.
Okay.
And that's probably the biggest thing. Just I want to make, again, the RFP for a new pump in Senegath, the hall, and that's pretty much it. So.
The location for a new hall, it makes sense to be in Ilshane still, obviously not further north.
I'm going to say yes, just because all of our members currently respond out of Ilshane. We have a couple out at Grand Point. So, currently that's where all our members respond to. So I don't think it would be a terrible idea to put something in Grand Point. Maybe we have more land over there, but all our members are coming from elsewhere. That's the only challenge with that. So
Land, but yeah.
that's the only challenge with that. Like I said, we have a couple, we're literally 2 people from the Grand Point area. I mean, it may increase over time, but currently, all our members are in the town itself. So again, different challenges that we have to figure that out. Whatever that is, right? It's not easy for sure. So.
So Mr. CEO, do we need to give a approval for fire chief to start doing the RFP, or can you guys work that out of council?
We will work that out of council. At the end of the day, it's the resolution to council to purchase the new vehicle, whichever that would be.
Okay. Perfect. Anything else?
Nothing from me. So it's all good on this side.
Perfect. Council, anything else to add?
None here.
Good here.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Scott. Have a great day.
Stay tuned. Thanks, guys and ladies.
Okay. Pardon me. Item 6.1, accounts paid to be approved. Do I have a mover? Councillor Belanger, second. Councillor Bondarchuk.
We have 5 batches of paid to be approved batch for 10,500, 4,600, 1,700, 8,600, and 76,400. The 76,400 is the acquisition of another electric truck for the fleet program that our EDO is working on.
Perfect. Time for council debate. Questions? Nothing. Call for the question. All those in favor? That's carried. Thank you. 6.2, accounts not paid to be approved. Do I have a mover? Councillor Lemoine, second. Councillor Pelletier.
2 batches, 80,000 and 202,500. In the 202, basically gas and diesel for 17,000, MEB contributions for 34,000, and the receiver general for 42,000. Otherwise, it's a whole bunch of scattered, smaller invoices.
Perfect. Council, comments, questions? Call for the question. All those in favor? That's carried 5-0. Thank you. 6.2.1, council indemnities. Do I have a mover? Councillor Pelche, second. Councillor Lemoine.
This is for the month of January, but the December 2024 hours are also included in this figure. Nothing else to report. I did receive an email from Councillor Boulanger regarding structure of hours and stuff like that. So I'll do a little bit of investigative work and return an appropriate answer to her email.
Thank you for returning appropriate emails, Mr. CEO. Any questions from council?
None here.
Call for the question. All those in favor? That is carried. Number 6.3, payroll to be approved. Do I have a mover? Councillor Boulanger, second. Councillor Lemoine, thank you.
Payroll 2 as presented, little bit of a different format sorted by employee number for your information. So it's kind of hard to say exactly where the overtime is occurring, but in total, there's 24 hours of overtime, 59 hours of bank time that occurred, 22 days of vacation that was used among staff, and 11 days of sick time. So not too bad.
Perfect. Council questions? Seeing none, I'll call for the question. All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. Number 9.1, bylaw 1, 2025, 330 Domain Road from RMHP to RG8, first reading. Do I have a mover? Councillor Pelche, second. Councillor Bondarchuk.
The property is located in Ile-des-Chênes at the corner of Bunteau and Domain. I believe the proposition is to change it from RMHP to an RG8 for the purpose of doing a multiplex as well as a single family home in the area. First reading, then we go to the rezoning, public hearing, et cetera, et cetera.
Thank you. Council, comments, questions, debate?
Getting the ball going.
Yep, exactly. Okay, call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed, none. That is carried. 9.2, bylaw 2, 2025, lot 1, plan 66782, PR 200 from AL to RG8, first reading. Do you have a mover? Councillor Boulanger, second. Councillor Lemoine.
The property is located in St. Adolphe, just north of the new daycare alongside Turon Creek. Proposal is just to go from AL to RG8.
Perfect.
And public hearing process to follow if council passes first reading.
Thank you. Council, debate, discussion.
Looking
Ball
forward
rolling
to-
again.
Looking forward to the discussion to follow.
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly. Okay, I'll call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed, none. That is carried. Thank you. 10.1, 10.2, intermunicipal maintenance agreement, RM of McDonald. Do I have a mover? Councillor Pelche, second. Councillor Boulanger.
All right. Administration and Public Works are just ironing out some intermunicipal maintenance agreements regarding 2 roads that we share property lines with. The first would be the Brady Road, whereby it would be the responsibility of the RM of McDonald to maintain and all that good stuff. The second road would be Andrewchuk Road, which would be the RM of Reachot's responsibility based on the maintenance agreement that is being proposed. Both Public Works departments and administrations are in favor of this proposal.
Perfect. Council discussion.
Is this a first? How was it done before?
I think it's more for clarification if there was no documentation done on these intermunicipals. I think it's a good chance when there's new councils to bring them forward so that way everybody knows what's going on at the same time, not only for Public Works and Administration, but also for council when there's changes in that. So I think it's more documentation than anything else now.
I think we do this for Springfield still, correct? We've had agreements in place.
We should do them for all intermunicipal
Boundaries.
properties,
Yes.
boundaries. So, yeah.
No,
Whether
I
it's,
agree. I was just
whether it's
chiseling into
road,
Councillor Belanger's point. I was just saying, I think we've done it before, just not for this specific one.
correct.
Okay, anything else from council? No, call for the question. All those in favor? That's carried. Thank you. 10.3 IDC development drainage easements. Do I have a mover? Councillor Bonnerchuk, second. Councillor Pelletier.
As part of a future development south of the Ruzy Bloom area, there is a requirement for drainage, municipal drainage easements, as well as municipal retention pond easements. Both legals have reviewed the proposals of the document and exactly what pieces of land. So those are all laid out in the two easement agreements that council has before them.
Perfect. Thank you. Council discussion. Seeing none, I'll call for the question. All those in favor? That is carried. Thank you. And I think that brings us to adjournment. Do I have a mover? Councillor Pelletier, second. Councillor Lemoine, final thoughts? Seeing none, I'll call for the question. All those in favor? That is carried. Thank you. I'll end the meeting at 9:22 a.m. Thank you very much, everyone, for attending, and we will see you next time.